Hey there, here's your daily video devotional for Wednesday, April 22nd, and we're glad that you're reading through the book of Acts with us, about one chapter per day. If you haven't seen the overview videos done by the Bible Project, we'd really strongly encourage you to go to our website, northcoastcalvary.org/elevate, because it kind of sets the whole picture of the book of Acts, and then as you read this chapter by chapter, everything will make more sense. Now, in yesterday's reading, Acts chapter 9, something really important happened. Saul became a Christian, a follower of Jesus. And now in Acts chapter 10, something else really important is going to happen. You see, Peter, Jesus' disciple, has this vision where he is convinced now that Jesus didn't come just to die for Jewish people, but for all the people of the world. And this will be a tension that has to be worked out among the early Christians, because all the early Christians were Jews, all of them. And so the question was, does Jesus just kind of belong only to the Jewish people, or is this for everybody? And because of Peter's vision, which you read about in Acts chapter 10, he's convinced it's for everybody. Now, have you ever seen someone in a different area or context than you're used to? Maybe you run into a teacher in a grocery store, and you're just like, you don't know what to say or do because that's not where you're used to seeing that person. Yeah, well, that's what the early struggle was about with Jews and non-Jews called Gentiles. And it was a question of who belongs in this movement. Who does Jesus belong to? And of course, you and I know that God is the God of all. Jesus is the Lord of all. But it really gets hammered out in this part of the book of Acts. And I just want to ask you, who doesn't belong in church? Can you think of someone in particular who, if they showed up in church, you'd be like, what are you doing here? Or maybe a type of person that you look at outside of church, you go, they wouldn't have anything to do with them. Well, just remember that the early Christians initially in chapter 9 said, let's not let Paul in. We don't believe he's really a disciple. Now in chapter 10 and beyond, let's not let the non-Jews in. They don't belong here. But the truth is, Jesus really was and is the Lord of all. He's open to everybody. He belongs to everybody. And that includes you. Keep reading through the Bible, Acts 11 for tomorrow. We'll talk about it right here.